think. Let's see how this is going here. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Hopefully it allows me to come into the stream here. Ooh, it is. Here, let's see. Da, 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 da. Awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good. Let me get this tweet out so we can join in here. 1 second. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. I meant to check to see if the link worked. Hold on, let me make sure the link works here. So YouTube, we'll hit it live. Let's see if that works. Let me make sure the link works here. Yep, that works. Okay, good. Fantastic. Good. All right, well, we got things working here. So basically the trick with the broadcaster was I had to create an event and then quickly log out of the event, and then so the event stays up, and then I can jump back in live later. So that works. I don't know what happened this week, but it was pretty interesting. So anyway, good stuff. So today we're going to be wrapping up our conversation on day trading RSI tricks. And today's going to be pretty cool, guys. Going to leave something to be like, whoa, what's this all about? So today's going to be about reversed engineered RSI. So it's a pretty cool thing. But before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to check and see where we left off the market today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what might be setting up into tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX. All right, well, apparently there's volume on SPX today. Don't you love TOS? It's like, great, thanks for this big volume candle right here. Apparently 2 billion. 2 billion today. So anyway, it's interesting how they embedded that on top of that. Anyway, so bearish engulfing candle. Bearish engulfing candle so far in the monthly chart. We still have some time left in the month to see what they do with this thing. Who knows? Maybe they'll turn to green by the end of the month. Weekly chart, though. Oh, look at all this volatility that we've had recently. Whoa, how about that Cloud Canyon, right? Kind of gave us a little bit of a clue that was happening. Plus the open gap below on the monthly and the weekly and the daily chart right here. So that got filled here this week. So pretty cool stuff there. Daily chart. What's going on? Where are we? I mean, are we in a downtrend? What's happening? Well, sort of, right? So we are in a downward corrective pattern, right? But to us, who use Elliott Wave and all that stuff, this really just looks like a zigzag formation. So a 5, ABC3, and a possible 5. We were projecting a down move here to about the bottom of the cloud. And let me make sure this is all coming through. Okay, good. So we're projecting a down move about to the bottom of the cloud, about this 3,200 area. It is possible that we see that tomorrow, or this might be actually the beginning of a move back up. So we'll see where that goes. And of course, if we break down even farther, if we could actually confirm with volume below the trend box, maybe, just maybe, we'll be in a fresh reversal and a downward trend, right? But so far, it's just showing it's a corrective pattern, and it makes sense. If we're in a corrective pattern, then a zigzag formation would make sense if y'all follow the Elliott Wave stuff. But in the meantime, one thing you can do is you can put a channel around this, because corrective patterns, impulsive waves are included, are contained within channels. So right now we are still contained in this channel, so we're channeled until proven otherwise, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at right here. But let's see how it holds going into tomorrow, and where we go from there. So a bit of a spinning top day today, but it sure gave us some fun price action. So let's take a look at the SPX and see how that behaved here today. So pretty cool stuff. So we gapped down today. Now Thursday, we talk about Thursdays, right? So crazy Thursdays, right? They have about an 80% chance. Thursdays are the big day of the week of fading a gap. And so we kind of were working towards that today. We did a quick short at the open because it was pretty bearish. I'll show you the Elliott Wave on the futures chart, because I've already got it drawn on there. But we thought that maybe possibly we'd get an impulsive wave down. But we did say that we thought we were going into a wave 5, but we do know that wave 5s can be truncated. And so once that happened, right, we reversed off of that. We got a nice move up there. Okay, then we had a fast reversal down. Okay, and then once we held this 15 orb here today, guys, this was the key area, right? So it's kind of interesting. So we're going into the Fed talk today with Mnuchin, with the Senate, and that was kind of around 10 o'clock, and then we started to bounce off this 15 orb high. We got a little choppy right here, and then we really started to move, right? And each of these pullbacks were buyable at the time. Now, when you look at the futures chart, we have this tweezer tops right here, guys, tweezer tops on the 15-minute chart, and I think we saw it on the 5-minute chart too, and that started to lead things back down. And guys, this was awesome. This gave some really major moves to the downside, and I'll show that to you in a little bit here on the futures chart. In the meantime, let's take a look at the levels that we provide to our members so you can see how valuable these are. Look where we bounced here. We bounced off a major weekly level right here. What a great place for a bounce, right? And then we were kind of dancing around between our volume levels, and then we got above the weekly level right here, but we could not hold. We found a drop area right here and then bounced. And we had this sideways head and shoulders, and that gave us a little bit more of confidence on a downward move. So good stuff. So let me show you what was going on with the S&P futures here today. And we often trade SPY off of the S&P futures. We do like SPX, but again, this was so cool today. So going into the morning, right, this is what we were looking like here today, right? So here we go. Here's that impulsive wave contained by a channel going into today, right? So yesterday, we had some great down moves, right? So we had what looked like a 1, 2, right? And then and we finished the wave with a 3. And then once I saw this triangle here this morning going into today, as you guys know, triangles can only occur in Elliott wave in a wave 4 or a wave B. Right, so it's kind of a cool tool to use. So it's like, if you see a triangle, now this is not a great triangle, but it was pretty good. And, so if you see a triangle going on, a decent symmetrical triangle. We've talked about this before. We don't want just like this, right? We want a symmetrical triangle. We don't want like a tight pennant type triangle. We're talking about a symmetrical triangle. The longer the better, right? So like this. Right, so we're either in a B wave or a 4 wave with that. So once I saw this forming here this morning, I was like, this could be a wave 4, and it was pretty cool, right? So we had the signal zones above. This is one of our supply-demand zones, right? We had another supply-demand zone down here. And so our resistance zone is good, our support zone is good. So the main thing this morning is once we hit this wave 4, I was like, okay, we could be working on a wave 5 down here this morning. And the only thing I caution with, because we use these signal zones for good areas of support resistance, is that if we couldn't get below this signal zone right here, then it could be a truncated wave 5, right? And so that's exactly what happened, right? So this ended up being an impulsive wave down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we caught a short off of this at the open. It looked like just in case it was working on another impulsive move down. So we caught a nice short off of the triangle right here, and then that was it for that move, right? And then they bought the dip on it. So this is actually kind of a cool tool as well, because once we crush through these levels right here, what that does also is it shows that everybody who is short overnight, which is usually weak hands, right? They got pushed out this morning and they were forced to cover, and then the bulls stepped up, right? Then we kind of came back in, we tested these levels again, and then we launched. But the cool thing is those tweezer tops today that we were talking about on the 15-minute chart was right here at this signal zone, right where we dropped last night. So drop, base, drop, and so this is a great area to look for a potential short. The levels were a little bit tricky, but the beautiful thing about this, right, is that once things get going, once we start impulsing, then we can get our Elliott wave counts on here, right? So this first move down was a nice drop. So wave 1, and then we were trying to figure out what the wave was here, because this was very, very interesting. This was the key retracement right here. And so we're trying to get a count on this one. It was a little bit tricky, but to me it looked like an expanded flat. So we had A, B, C to form your wave 2, and what a perfect opportunity to get short, to get in that wave 3 move right there. We want to trade. Wave 1s are tough. They're basically what you're doing is if you catch a wave 1, you're trying to catch a top or catch a bottom. Right, and that's hard to do, but it's a little bit easier when you have our signal zones right in play, right? So you get your tweezer tops, candle things, stuff like that. So a lot of times you can catch those moves, but the next best thing, right, is to catch the next wave, wave 3 or wave 5, right? 3s are the funnest usually. 5s can be good too, and the other waves we like to catch are wave C's, because wave C's, well, they can turn into other waves, right? They can turn into an impulsive wave just in case, right? So anyway, so we got to move there. Gave us a wave 3 down, gave one more retrace right here off of this wave for a wave 4, and this was shortable. Members caught this. Matthew in the futures group caught this on the short side right here and gave a beautiful move down here to finish your wave 5, and that was it. That was it for the day right here. So pretty cool stuff, and then it drifted up into the close. It was actually a pretty good bounce off of that too, and then kind of drifted up. So now we're drifting up here after hours, and so that wave looks like it's done, and we'll see what they have in store for the rest of the evening here. So we got this going on. We'll see how that holds here. I mean, maybe we got kind of like a channel type thing going up here this evening. We'll see how that goes and how these levels hold. But could be pretty interesting going into tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so that's the futures update, and we are up 15 points. So we'll see if they could rally back up. I'd like to see it get over these levels right here into tomorrow, and then to kind of start to say, hey, we're done with that trend, that zigzag on the daily chart. Now we're going to make another attempt back to all-time highs. So we'll see how that goes. So good stuff. All right, so let's talk about the topic here today, guys. It's pretty cool. So we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading RSI tricks. And so we talked a lot about a lot of cool stuff. There's some stuff we didn't get to this week, but I think you guys are going to like this one. So it's called Reverse Engineered Rsi. So guys, this is a new thing that came up in in Thinkorswim, and it's really cool. So let me show you exactly what this thing is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the SPY just because it's easier to work with here. So one of the neat things is that right with RSI, so I'm going to pull up RSI right here. So we talked again about how important the levels, the 70 and 30 levels are on RSI, right? That gives your overbought and oversold levels, right? So once we get overbought, right? Once we get overbought, right, there's a chance that we could reverse off those overbought levels. So sometimes, it's cool if you have the RSI up here, and it's really, really neat. But with the reverse engineered RSI, what it does is it puts the RSI on the chart itself, and it basically projects where the overbought and the oversold levels are. So let me show you how to put that together here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Studies, and let me pull it up right here. And what I'm going to do, give me 1 second. Let me add that to the broadcaster. 1 second. Let me add a Studies. Give me 1 second. Edit Studies. Okay, so you should be able to see this here. Okay, good. I'm going to zoom this up a little bit, and then remind me to take it off if I forget. Okay, so we got the RSI loaded on here. So what we want to do is when we want to go, just type in here, just type in reverse engineered. Now they're adding some other cool stuff too, guys. They're adding reverse engineered MACD as well, but we're just going to talk about RSI here today. So the reverse engineered RSI, it basically defaults at the basic stuff, right? So if I just put it on here like this, right, it's like, okay, there's the reverse engineered RSI, right? So this is kind of just showing me kind of where the projected move of the RSI might be, right? So that kind of stuff. So but you can adjust this thing, and this becomes really, really cool. What we want to do is, oops, I forgot to take it off, but here we go. So anyway, so hopefully that comes back on again. Hold on, let's see what that does. I need to take this off again and reload it. Give me 1 second. So there, and let me add this. All right, so now let me show you what we could do. So this is cool. So you go Studies here, and there we go. So we should be able to see this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 reverse engineered RSIs. Okay, and I'm going to make 170 and 130. All right, and that's going to show us where the projected overbought and oversold levels are on the RSI. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click this, and this is brand new, guys. This is really cool stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 70 the reverse engineered top, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it red, because that's going to show me where we might be coming into resistance, and we might want to look for a shorting opportunity, right? So I'm going to add that there, and then I'm going to make the other one 30 on this one, and I think, let me make sure I'm pretty sure I got it. No, I meant this. Sorry, I meant to keep this 14, and the RSI value is 50, so it's got a 50. So I need to make this one 30, and the other one 70. So let me do that right here. So 30. I'm gonna make that green because that's where we want to bounce. Okay, and here. And then, sorry, the RSI, it's the 14 is your count, right? So I need to make, sorry, I hit the wrong thing on that one. So there, and I need to make this one 70. So let's go there. Okay, so we'll keep that red. Okay, so now I've got a 70 and a 30 RSI on here. Now watch this, really, really cool. Whoa, look at that. So look at this. So right where we got overbought right here at the 70 level, look what happened. We tagged the RSI right here. Look what happened here when we got, I'm sorry. I need to take this window off. Sorry, guys. Told you it's tricky with the broadcaster. Okay, here we go again. So I got your 70 up here, and I got your 30 down here. I made this one red because I'm looking to short, in these areas, right? And I made this one green because I'm looking for a potentially to go long, right? So now let's look at the RSI and compare it with this one, right? So look where we got almost overbought right here on the RSI, right? Right at 70, and look what happened, right? We worked our way back up to the 70 RSI, right? We got an upper shadow up here, and then boom, we worked our way back down. Really, really cool stuff, right? Even after hours, right, or pre-market, we bounced off it here for a little bit of move, right? Kind of worked its way back up, and then here it worked its way back up all the way up here to the 70, and look what it did. Boom! It hit the 70 RSI on this one, which is really super duper cool. And then we moved back down, and we did a little bit of a bounce off of this RSI right here, and you can see what happened. We bounced right here. We had a double bottom, right? Now it's interesting, right? Because price was higher right here, but it's showing you where on the price it is based on where it is on the RSI, right? So it's really, really cool. And then we ultimately bounced off of this RSI into the close. What a cool tool. So much better, in my opinion, than looking for bounces off of Bollinger Bands, VWAP, standard deviations, or even sometimes I do like the Keltner channels, but even a little bit better than the Keltner channels. So really cool stuff here, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the RSI at the bottom right here, and what a cool trick to use to try to find highs and lows, right? So if we kind of go back here, right, we go back to yesterday. Now yesterday was a trending day, right? So yesterday was a trending day, so we didn't really get any major bounces off of this one. And one of the very powerful tools, like we said, remember one of the things we talked about this week? We talked about when you're oversold, you can stay oversold for a while. Once we get below the level right here, this becomes a very, very powerful downtrend, right? So just like we were talking about yesterday with the or on Monday when the RSI gets oversold, it could stay oversold. Once you're below that, wow, very, very, very powerful stuff, right? Same thing here. This is pretty cool. You know, 2 days ago, bounced off the RSI level here, worked its way back up, got here, kind of a little bit of a down move, and then kind of bounced off of it here. Right? I mean, it's not perfect areas of support and resistance, but when these correspond with major levels, right, that is super duper confidence on this stuff. So today, right, we talked about the signal zone on the futures, right, and you can see right here it corresponded very, very nicely with the RSI on this channel right here. So look, same thing right here. So we got to the signal zone up here. What a great area to look for a short right when we got to the top of the RSI. Look at that right there. You know, boom, just perfect moves right here. You know, at the we're in the signal zone right here. We hit RSI now. Of course, it retested right there, and then it bounced. Right here was a great bounce here, and at the end of the day, I mean, it's just really cool stuff, especially when you see this stuff happen at our signal zones, right? So really, really neat stuff right here. Look at this, RSI and the signal zone right here for a bounce. Just beautiful stuff. Signal zone right here, RSI for a bounce. RSI right here for a bounce. I mean, really, really cool stuff when they correspond with levels. So anyway, cool trick, cool, powerful tool. I hope you guys find it helpful. And at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug them in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right, so let's go to the daily chart, and pretty cool stuff. That is awesome. So let's clean up the chart a little bit here, and let's go to the daily. And let's take a look, see what we got going on. So we got, I know Shirley sent a few in via email at the beginning, so let's take a look at those here. So again, everybody, thanks for keeping Shirley in your thoughts and prayers. She gets better every day. Let's take a look at Boeing. So Boeing on the short radar. Wow, what a move on Boeing today. So we got we've had this big triangle that we've been stalking for so long, and we finally broke out of it here. Right, we had a doji day, and then we retested it one more time. We talked about this in our group. This is a good short opportunity yesterday. Turned into a 5x trade on the options. Right, we're just way back down. If you have any runners on that one, what a great follow through today. So we'll see how it goes. We got some volume on that one. You know, again, we'll see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if they bought the dip, but what a nice 2-day move off of that one. Let's see if it gets any more follow through on Boeing. Good find on that one, Shirley. GRPN, Groupon. Whoa, Groupon looking pretty nasty. Again, this was the big breakdown day right here, right? And then it started to get some follow through here. It got into the cloud, pierced the cloud again. I don't really like the volume on Groupon. It gets pretty tough to trade on options, but we did gap down today, and we're kind of drooping down below the cloud. So that's definitely something to keep on the bearish radar for sure. I'm going to put it on the game plan for tomorrow just so we have something bearish to keep track of. Give me 1 second. Let me get that loaded up here. Hold on. Where are we? There we are. Wow, can you guys believe that tomorrow is Friday already? Wow. So let's see, we got this going on here, Friday. It's Friday. Think next week's options, right? Think next week's options, right? Because if you don't like trading the momentum on a Friday and don't like getting a sign over the weekend, it's definitely a good idea to think of the next week's options. So let's put GRPN on the short side. We'll go ahead and put Boeing on there too, see if we get any more follow through on that one. And of course, for tomorrow, of course, we got Costco. We had some earnings tonight, so we'll see how that goes into tomorrow. And where that takes us. And let's see if we get this cleaned up right here. Good. Well, hopefully, some folks have some bullish setups for us too, because you know we could see some bounces going into tomorrow. So good stuff there. So GRPN, ALK. Okay, Alaska Air. Again, airlines got hit there today too. Again, big volume there. Lower shadow, so a little bit of caution on that one. ANTM. Let's take a look at this one. So ANTM, woo! We actually have a bullish engulfing day here because we engulfed the entire real body, right? It would be nice if it engulfed the entire candle, but the real body is engulfed here, and it's also at an old fib fan level right there. So let's just let's put that on the bullish radar too, and just see if that gives us a bounce. I like the bullish engulfing candle. I don't like that the volume wasn't as high, but let's see if it decides to bounce there. Let's take a look there. And then FTCH, right? So Farfetch. Keep an eye on that one. It could be bearish right there. We're below the 80 MA, but it is holding on the daily cloud. So let's see how that goes into tomorrow. So good stuff. Thank you so much, Shirley. Alma, what's going on? Thanks for making it. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. Let's take a look at NTRA. Let's take a look. So Natera. So pretty cool stuff right here. It was kind of like a, looks like a bit of an extended bull flag. Almost a little bit. It's okay. It was just a little bit shorter in the flagpole here. And it looks like it's trying to break out of those levels right there. So that does look pretty interesting there, Alma. So keep an eye on that one. This is probably not one I've ever traded before or would ever trade, with options and stuff. But I do like how it's trying to break out there, and I do like the volume. Let's take a look at Penn. All right, so Penn National Gaming. So this thing's been a wild one, right? So when the other casinos were going down, Penn was going up, right? And then it gave a couple upper shadows up here at these levels, and then it drooped down yesterday, and then today got some downside follow through on that one. So we cleared the prior resistance level. Now we're kind of in this range right here. See how it holds this? See how it holds these areas here? Okay, that prior resistance is as maybe support. But yeah, keep an eye on those casinos, so especially if you get more negative COVID news, like that type of stuff. So it's good stuff. Jameis, glad you made it, man. Mike, what's going on? Good to see you. Just in cash, looking for ideas tonight. Nice. Well, glad you made it, man. And yeah, well, we pretty much got it sorted out. It's not exactly the way it was before, but at least we're getting it working, and where you guys could get in the wait, in the watch room for a little bit, and hang out before the show starts, right? So eventually one day we'll get some music in the background. Get a little smooth jazz going on in the background. But anyway, good stuff there. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for making it, man. So pretty cool technique there. I think you tuned in for a good one on that reverse engineered RSI. Cool thing to keep on the charts, right? Especially when it comes to a key level. Jameis, yeah, so SPX. So again, the SPX guys, again, let's see how it holds, right? We keep on pushing the trend box down. Let's see how we hold the bottom of the cloud right there, see if we rally off of that. We also have some big congestion areas right here where we might find a support. Again, I mean, there's no... unless, barring some other crazy event and all that stuff, there's no reason for this market to really crash right now. Everything seems to be going pretty smoothly, right? They're working on the pandemic, all that stuff. I mean, it had to be like, some major liquidity break, like with the Fed and with banks and stuff like that, for this thing really to tumble. So, but hey, that could happen. It's happened before. So we'll see how that goes. Let's take a look at now. So yes, now's getting really, really tight. Right, so we're getting a big triangle right here. So again, let's see if we can get a breakout on this thing one way or the other, right? So see if we can get a high volume breakout of that candle. Let's see if now's ready to get going again. So good stuff. Truth, what's going on? Thanks for making it. I hope you are well. Yeah, let's take a look at Apple. So Apple's kind of a big one right here. Right, so we talked about yesterday. We kind of had it on the bullish radar, on a potential bounce here. I like the low volume pullback to the macro upper trend line from the Corona crash. And wanted to see how it held right here. Again, we gapped down, but we reclaimed some of the range. Upper shadow off the ADMA, so it's got some work to do. Let's see if we get over the 8 and the 50, and then see once it's over the 50, you might see some institutions start stepping back in and putting some money into it. But other than that, let's just kind of see how it holds these levels right now. So still a little bit sketchy, until the market can really start to pull itself back up again. Dry, how about Dry today, guys? What an incredible move, up 8% today. This was the last one I was expecting to do like a gap and go today, right? So I mean, we're not at all-time highs. It got clobbered for the Corona crash, which makes sense, right? It's restaurants, stuff like that. But it did get really tight right here. We gapped above this geometric level, right? And then it just plowed its way through this 94.75 area, and you can see how it did it, right? So it did it at the open, right? We got to the pre-market levels, we plowed through this level, got to 50 warp high, and that's like, uh-oh. Then it kind of pulled back a little bit, held at its AMA, and gave a nice push here through the day. So let's see if Dry can get a little bit of fall through. Just a little bit worried about that upper shadow on that one. So good stuff there. And then pins. So pins we're kind of looking at here. Let's see. It's recent run up. Let's do a Fibonacci on this one. Just kind of see where we're at here off of this recent run up. Right. So we're right at the 618 and the ADMA. So pins actually could be interesting for a bounce. I'm going to put that on the bullish radar for tomorrow. Right. So let's kind of keep it. It reminds me a lot of. I'm just going to go ahead and just zoom out and look at Zoom right here. It just reminds me a lot of the 618 retraces that Zoom did before it gave its explosive move up. So right. So let's kind of keep an eye on that one. But yeah. So very, very nice on that. Good, so we'll keep an eye on it. And then Suyag, what's going on? Let's take a look at Tesla. All right, so Tesla up $7.43 here. Again, this is also on our bullish radar too. We put it in our morning report that we provide to members. And why? Same thing, right? So it came right to the bump trend line right here, but it was also the 50-day moving average. Good place for it to bounce. No real reason for it to be down except for the battery day stuff. And what a great dip buy on this one, right? Nice retraces here today. Very very controlled buying opportunities on Tesla today. So good stuff there. Let's see if it gets any follow through. It's still below the 80 MA, so a little bit of caution on that one. And I know you've been tracking Disney for a while. So Disney down a little bit again. Actually, watch Disney for a potential doji sandwich down. It held onto the 200-day, but if we lose these lows here tomorrow and break down below the cloud, Disney could really start working on this gap fill right here. So let's see how that goes on Disney. Otherwise, we still have an island top. Okay, so if it bounces off the cloud, then of course you can see a reversal. There's a gap above, so we got that going on too. Jameis, yeah, let's take a look at Amazon. Amazonia. So Amazon, decent move today here. So this is was working on a fresh downtrend. Now it's working on a trend bond backs back up. I really want to see it close bullishly above the 50-day moving average for this thing really to get going again. So it keeps on. It's kind of sliding down the DTL right now. If it gets back into that range and then pushes below these lows, then we're going to stay bearish till proven otherwise. And we got the 200-day moving average below on that one. So we'll see how that goes. Good. Michael, what's going on? Okay, so you can explain why we are still in the trend box and not in a downtrend. Yeah. So here's the deal, right? So here's the deal with all right, so it incorporates our trend line theory, right, and also Elliott wave theory, right? So it kind of combines the two, right? So here we were trending up, right? So we're holding the upper trend line, holding the upper trend line, holding the upper trend line. Once we break below the upper trend line, it forms a trend box, right? Because now we're curious, right? Things are different. We've lost trend, right? So once that happens, unless you can push to all-time highs, right? Or unless you can push about above those, we're still cautious on this because what it's showing us is that something is going on with the trend, and we might be working on a full downtrend reversal, right? And I'm not saying there's not short opportunities in here. There certainly are. We've been shorting the whole way through here, right? We've been looking for short setups because shorting is fun, right? And it's fast. And right, so I mean, but what it does is it tells us that we're entering into a corrective pattern, right? So a corrective pattern in Elliott wave, if you guys recall, right, are the pullbacks, right? So you have an impulsive wave up, a corrective wave down, an impulsive wave up, a corrective wave down, and then a compulsive wave up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That finishes your Elliott wave, right? And so here, we can reasonably do a wave count here. This is an impulsive wave up. That's your wave 1. Here's your wave 2, right? And then this could be a large impulsive wave 3, and this could be a wave 4, right? So we could be just in this area right here. So it doesn't mean we're not pulling back. We certainly are. Right? It just doesn't mean that this wave is necessarily over yet until it can prove that maybe it is, right? So right now we're assuming that it's a corrective wave pattern. One of the corrective wave patterns, there's three corrective wave patterns that are out there. There's a triangle, right? There's a flat, which is your ABC, just kind of this, it just looks kind of flat, right? So there's a ABC, which this one kind of, is a little bit like here, right? So ABC type move, right? And this definitely looks corrective right here, ABC, right? Worked its way back up, right? And then there is the zigzag move. So the zigzag is a 5, it's an impulsive wave down, 3, 5, right? So impulsive, ABC up, and impulsive. Right, so you can see right here, this looks like impulsive, ABC, right, and then impulsive, right? So right now we're still looking at this as a corrective wave, and the trend box theory actually helps with that because we haven't broken down yet, right? And so if you go to the SPY, this will show you really well. So what happened? Here's what happened each time we broke down, right? So each time we broke down, right? Here was the first break of the upward trend line, right? But it left a lower shadow. It's okay, we're in a trend box. Here's the next day. Now, did we get a nice momentum move through that level? Sure did, right? But it left a lower shadow and kind of get back in the range of there. So that stretches the trend box out. And then what we want to really show that this trend is really working to change is a bearish close below the trend box with increasing volume. Now this one closed below the trend box, which was that low right here, but look at the volume, it was tapering off. And then what could happen, it was a bear trap. We gapped up the next day, right? Same thing, right? And then so then we had a bearish go indicator, we kind of just chopped around it here, right? And then we pushed down again, and each time we push down, right, it's not really showing us we're downtrending. It just keeps on, putting a lower shadow right here. Even this candle right here, this is a breakdown right here, but it couldn't break below the trend box, which is right there, right? And then today we finally got below the trend box. Now, did it give a nice momentum move down today? Sure, that's why we shorted it at the open, right? But it worked its way back up. So it just keeps on stretching the trend box out. So what it's telling us, because of this non-impulsive move, it just shows us that we're still in a corrective pattern, right, until proven otherwise. Now, once we do close and we close below those levels, then we can, you look at this and we'll be like, okay, great, this is the trend, right? We are now trending down, right? That type of thing. So we're going to keep this channel up here until we can break out of it again. But until that happens, right, we're still looking at it as a corrective pattern because we're still in the trend box. Okay? So clear as mud on that one. So hopefully, if anybody didn't catch that, feel free to go back and watch the video too, right? Because it does make sense, right? Because these are really the corrective pattern boxes, right? Is what we're in right here. So anyway, good stuff. So also, do you ever utilize level 2 or price and time? You bet. Yeah, we use that a bunch, particularly with futures. We like to have the DOM up. And yeah, with price and time, right, or time and sales here, like on this one, right? So we don't see anything right here, right? But active trader is kind of like your DOM, right? It's kind of level 2 type stuff. There's also level 2 as well, right? Which is down here. That shows you your bid and your ask. It's helpful. I don't use it as much. Some of our future traders guys, like Matthew on our future traders channel, he uses the DOM all the time because what he does is he looks at it and he sees where all the traders are sitting, right? You can sit there and you can look at and see where the big areas of volume resistance is. You can see if they pull away or not, and you can look to see are they putting it there? If we push through that lever, we're gonna get a push. And when it corresponds with levels on your chart, it can give a good move. So yeah, we use it a bunch. I personally don't particularly use it very much. I'm good with using levels and Elliott wave intraday, and looking for following impulsive moves and using Fibonacci's and stuff like that. So we do just as well with that too. So, but it is a cool tool, and a lot of people really find a lot of benefit in it. So yeah, so can you help one or a couple best study setups for day and swing trades? There's so many, but using multiple tools in small time is very time consuming. Yeah, I mean, using the clouds to your advantage, right? Using our cloud tools that we talk about in the group is super duper helpful on the lower term time frame. It's also helpful on the longer term time frames too, right? So I mean, cloud breakouts are great, right? Here's a cloud breakout right here. Here's a cloud bounce. Here's a cloud bounce, right? So it's one of the nice ones right here. We didn't bounce off of this one, right? Because we know volume and all that stuff. But we're gonna look here to see if we can get a bounce off of the cloud. So I mean, those tools really help a lot, right? But other than that, right? You got to use chart patterns and geometric levels. I mean, you just got to look for that and look for breakouts, right? I mean, here you had a nice triangle move right here. We broke out of it and we chopped around sideways for a little bit. We did move, right? The 8 EMA was working its way back, or up, or over the 50. I mean, kind of worked its way back up there. So those are kind of the main ones. But never be afraid to use a blank chart and put lines on it, right? Because it's going to give you so much insight into what's going on. And then you can put in other tools on there, with what you like to use. Again, it's tricky, guys. But and then use an Elliott wave. I mean, it's really kind of comes down to that stuff. So good. So hopefully that helps. So you mean the reverse SPY? It shows SPY is overbought right now. On the reverse engineered SPY, on what time frame? Yeah, on the 5-minute we were looking at earlier. So if you go at SPY, and if we put the reverse engineered back on here, so you go reverse engineered RSI here. I should actually save this as a study set, so I don't have to rebuild it every time. But here, so we make that red. And we'll make this one green. And I am going to save this as a study set. I'm going to save it as a set. I'm just going to call it Rev Eng RSI. Okay, so I'm going to save that as a set. Hit OK. Yeah, so right now, we're overbought. Right, we're overbought on the RSI. And you can tell, right, because all you got to do is you got to pull up the RSI with your 70-30 on your RSI here. Look at that. We got overbought right here. We got overbought right here. Right? So then we bounced off of that a little bit. So pretty cool. Very, very, very neat stuff. So good. So Ramesh, what's going on? Yeah, let's take a look at some other charts here. Let's look at Spotify. So Spotify teaming up with a couple other companies, including Epic Games, right, the makers of Fortnite, to try to lobby against Apple to be like, hey guys, you need to change some of your policies and stuff like that. So pretty interesting there. It's not really helping their stock at all, but a little bit of a spinning top right here, kind of breaking out. It's we had a little bit of a bear flag right here coming out of the cloud. Bit of a lower shadow here, a little bit sketchy here with the increased volume. Just kind of keep an eye on these levels right here. Might retest that bear flag area. If it fails to retest, let's see if it kind of gets back to today's lows on that one. Always got to work its way back in there. And then STMP. S&P, tough one to trade unless you're taking a gamble into earnings. Yeah, if it's kind of working its way back up here, a little bit of a bear flag type move too, coming up to 50 moving hours. See how it handles that cloud and see where we go from there on that one. And then Home Depot. So yeah, so new home sales up. So maybe that'll help too, but it's actually kind of looking like a doji sandwich right here. So see how that holds tomorrow and see if it breaks down out of the cloud. We'll see where we go from there. So Michael, so 90% gain in 40 seconds off the top of that bear flag fake out, 945. Love that momentum on the side. I know, it's beautiful stuff. Seriously. It was incredible. It was incredible. So dry beat expectation 1,000%. And what were they? I know exactly. They did. They had the estimates were like really low on it, right? And it makes sense, right? The restaurants and the corona stuff. That's kind of the shenanigans, right, with the stock market. It's like it doesn't really make sense. I mean, they're not really doing any business, but it was better than they expected. So there you go. That's how they keep the stock market propped up. So good stuff there. Jim, what's going on? Good evening. Hey, cool. Yeah, awesome on the reverse engineered RSI. Yeah, let's take a look at Roku and see what that's looking like here. So Roku. So Roku, again, we talked about yesterday about the upper shadow right here. We had our bearish game plan going today. Got a nice gap down to hit the ADMA. So it's kind of holding this right here. Let's see how it does. We had a fun couple days there, and now it's kind of back in this range again. So key level right here to get back above 185. Key level to hold 176. All right, so let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. Could be interesting. If it does break below 176, we might see the scene of the breakout right here down at 165. So we'll see how that goes. Could be very interesting. So Michael, Congress on recess proven bullish, right? Exactly. So, and then Michael says CEI Ultra Penny Widowmaker. Let's take a look here. Yeah. What is it? We had some volume here today. Look at that. Woo! Look at that. It moved like 20 cents there. That's incredible. Look at that. Boom. Too much fun on that stuff. The Nest, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look. NLS. You love this one. Let's take a look here. It's down 54 cents today. Still hanging it out on the channel here. Got under the 80 on that one. So good old Nautilus. Let's see how that goes going into tomorrow. Maybe it comes back, bounces off the channel. Silver, guys, can't keep this one down. They just won't let me get back to 10 bucks, will they? Can we please go back? I remember a couple months ago, I was like, let's see that. Oh, wow, what an investment. Woo-hoo. So anyway, got to a triangle, kind of a tighter triangle up here, and then kind of worked its way back down to that with volume, right? Doji day, right? Doji sandwich and down. So now it's trying to get back up into the cloud right here on silver. So let's see how that goes. Grug. So grow. I always misspell it. GRWG. So Grug. Still kind of chopping around the range right here. It does still remind me of the workhorse chart. But big upper shadow off the ADMA. I don't know. Thin cloud right here. See what happens if we can get through that tomorrow, and then maybe we test the bottom of that range. Could be interesting right there. I mean, it's a pot stock, right? So I mean, unless they legalize pot, it's in America altogether, it's still pretty sketchy, right? So Illumin, yeah, so pretty interesting right here. So nice range up there today. It's trying to get into the gap, but watch out for potential bear flag on that one. So just a little bit of caution on that on ILMN. And what else? GME. How this company is still in business, I have no idea, but it is, right? And I mean, here's that activist investor. I think it's going to be a really good thing. Oh, no, I didn't mean it. He bought the top, didn't he? I can't remember who it was that bought it. What was it? Yesterday, Cohen bought it or something like that. Yeah, no. Who was the big one that made the Ryan Cohen discloses had conversation with senior management, several GameStop board members, and he feels willingness to be more involved under certain circumstances. So yeah, so he bought the top on that one. So anyway, it's pulled back pretty nasty. Inside day down, held the ADMA. So let's see how that holds going into tomorrow. Michael Phillips, yeah, nice, yeah, absolutely. I think it was a good video talk on those trend boxes. I mean, it's really cool stuff, especially when you combine it with Elliott Wave. Alex, any promotions coming up to join the group? We might do something. Sometimes we do like a free tour of the live stream. Like I meant to do it on the last holiday, but now that I'm doing the live streams a little bit earlier, I have a little bit more energy, if you guys can believe it. And so we'll like to do something soon, Alex. So just stay tuned on Twitter, and let's see what we get going on that. Okay, Alex, and then we got GMBL. Let's take a look. GMBL. Esports, we're working its way down right here. Guys, they got to get some, anyway, possible bear flag right here, kind of working its way down a little bit right here. Volume's a little bit blah on this one, so just a little bit of caution on that group. HWKE. Yeah, Hawkeye Systems doing okay right there. Inside day, still holding the 80 MA. It's trying to make a little bit of move up there, but looking pretty tricky, right? It does look like it's like a head and shoulders pattern right here, so it might work up for a shoulder. Work its way out. Just kind of watch those levels there for that. And what else? And then ST&G. Scorpio tankers. Let's take a look here. This. Straight up trend line. Possible falling wedge, which is I think like FinTwit's like favorite chart setup. Anyway, so a little bit of a lower shadow right here. See if it holds. It's got to hold, right? Otherwise, could tank even more, right? So we got that going on. Good stuff, Jim. Yeah, my pleasure, Michael. Maybe far out, but VXX calls for election. Oh yeah, so I mean the VIX should get pretty wild, right? So you know what's interesting about the VIX though is it's actually tough to trade with swings. We tracked it one time. The last big down move, we're like, let's see what happens if we take the VIX, right? And because of the volatility of the VIX, right, it actually kind of suppresses the options on it, so it makes it a really risky one to swing. So just a little bit of caution with that one. But yeah, maybe some sort of straddle or something like that, or a strangle, on the market or something like that could be interesting. Or keep an eye on the TLT, that could be interesting too. So Michael, so GME guy must give advice to GM for Nikola. I know exactly. So, yeah. Oh yeah, it's really good. It looks good. This Nikola is a really good company to partner with, even though they don't exist. So and GM's like, okay. So anyway, good stuff, guys. Oh, awesome. This is really good tonight, guys. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening. Be sure to, whether you're new here or not, be sure to click hit the like button for us. We always appreciate that. Cloud Guy! Oh, let's go. Let's get a couple more charts over. We got Apple. Okay, so Apple could be interesting, right? We got a bounce off of the macro upper trend line, so let's see how that holds going on that one. OSTK, remember if you're ever bored, see what Overstock's up to. And Overstock looks like it's up to a potential bear flag here coming out of the cloud, so a little bit of caution on that one. And then VRM, vroom vroom, right? Carvana with a big move up here, bringing vroom with it, and then back down, right? So a little bit of a gap still here. It looks like it might have filled that gap. Yeah, it looks like it might fill that gap. So see how it holds right there. See if we bounce out. It's kind of at the opening day highs right here from its IPO. So it definitely needs to hold here. It's key level for it. So it could be interesting on that one. And of course, Zoom too, right? So Zoom just kind of pulling back. See how it holds the 80 MA. It's been bouncing off a lot of these Fibonacci's recently. So good stuff there. But yeah, so if you're new here, guys, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and hit the notification button so you can see we go live. We also post videos throughout the day. Good morning market prep, lunchtime market update, and the daily market wrap. And we also do other educational videos as well. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description, links to our Twitter page if you're just finding us from YouTube, but also check out our website too. We put a newsletter out every weekend, so if you feel like subscribing this weekend, we'd love to have you in the group. Check out our newsletter and join our member Discord where we're there all day. So good stuff there. So again, guys, I really appreciate everybody. Be sure to hit the like button and have a wonderful weekend. We'll catch you guys Sunday evening. Stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe. See you in the game.